Yes, I will. All right, it's good morning again. This is the Friday edition of your favorite show, the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Daffy Matthew. So I'm going to give love to come with the Elegbete One Sports. It's a lovely day to be alive, and it's a wonderful day to talk about sports. Man, if you're a Barcelona fan, you better be raising your hands up, and if you're an Arsenal fan, you should be excited like I am excited. And if you're a Leicester City fan or you love Leicester City, you might not be a Leicester City fan, but you just love Leicester City because they've got a hordes of Nigerians playing there. They've got a Senegalese, is Zambian. That guy is from Zambia, if I'm not mistaken. And they've got different players from different parts of the world playing there. So you would be excited. You would love the fact that they did it home and away. And if you love Glasgow Rangers, I love them because one, Joe Aribo plays there, Leon Balogun plays there. But beyond that, there's also Calvin Bassey who plays there. And then my friend, yes, my good friend, is the assistant manager. Okay, I'm talking about Roy McKay. I wanted to have him on the show today, but he said he's busy. He will talk to me some other time. But I'm very happy that, I mean, if you take the scalp of Borussia Dortmund in the UEFA Europa Cup, you should be pushing as hard as you can to at least make it all the way to the finals. Yes, there are teams in the competition that could still knock them out, but I mean, thumbs up to them for what they did. And our very own players were involved in assist business yesterday. Napoli, yes, they tried, but wasn't good enough. Yeah, sometimes your best is just not good enough, and that's exactly what happened to Napoli. They were playing against the mighty powers of Barcelona. There's nothing anybody could do about that one. Life happens. You know how they say, and exactly that is what happened yesterday for Napoli. They tried, but it ended 4-2. So in the first leg, I think they had the chance to have scored and won that game, but they were more content with the fact that they took out a draw. But Barcelona is that kind of team that when they really, really need a result, they will go get it. Once again, my name is Daffy Matthew. So you love to come in the Elegbete One Sports. Let's set the ball rolling. If you want to contribute on the show, you know how to do it. 07025000069 is the number to call in. That's the same number to send your WhatsApp message on. So if you're on it, I'm here ready to rock and roll. It's still Hazel, the whole story about the Super Falcons. Now, there is no way we're going to talk this that will not put the blame straight in the laps of the NFF. Okay, whatever it is they do that make it easy for the Super Eagles to go through immigration and through SCDC and the rest of them. I know that these are times where, because of COVID, you have to go through all the testing and the rest. I guess somebody made a mistake, somebody forgot to do something, and the laws, okay, the National Center for Disease and Control does not do preferential treatment and does not know whether you are representing Nigeria or not, because diseases are diseases. They don't have race, class, or differential to anybody. But what I think is the way we went about it, I guess, is the real problem. I think that those girls deserve to be treated better. Those girls, were not properly treated, and I don't like it. I stand against that. And I think on this one, I'll call out. I put the blame because they say everything rises and falls on leadership. And I think I put the blame 100% on the lap of the NFF on this one. And Ahmad Pinnick happens to be the head of the NFF, and he's the president. So it's going to take the thumbs down on that one for how it was handled. And then every other person in the administrative staff, up to the general secretary, Dr. Sanisu Mohammed, and every other person, the head of women's football, head of department women's football, everybody for not knowing what to do. I think I put the blame on there. And then, okay, our airport. Come on, okay, these guys came in and you want to hold them back. Give them good seat. Let them sit properly, not sitting on the floor, hanging around, struggling. And footballers, please understand what rules are. So I hate the fact that people see, you're shouting, I'll go to report it to your boss. Be my guest. Guys, sometimes understand that these people are doing their job. And by any means, when people are doing their job and they know that they are within their rights, you're calling their boss. That's one of the things that I hate with Nigeria. Nigerians always like to threaten you with your boss, okay? And I tell people every time, if you call me and you want to report my staff to me, you're just wasting your time. I'm going to cut you off straight up. I don't like it. I used to face that when I was working in Brilla. There's nothing. I'll call your boss. I'll call your boss. And sometimes I'm like, man, you know what? I remember when they would call me to the office and say, this person called and complained. I said, Chairman, you really don't have a job, because if you have a job, I don't think these people call you. How many people calls the president when somebody who's working in the presidential office does something that is not right? So we must always remember that. But let's get past that and get in on the show. Let's start with the transfer rumors, the G's going around, who your club wants to sign. I'm going to come back to the Europa result because Barcelona did us very, very okay, did their fans. And there's a strong Barcelona fan in the building right now. Unfortunately, I can't bring him to the microphone. I also can't bring him to the cameras. You guys are wondering how the studio is brighter than normal. Well, there's a full production team around me here. Things are going on differently. I'm not used to this anyway. I'm not used to studio lights. It's been a while I saw studio light like this much anyway. I'm used to being behind the cameras and putting the spotlights on people, but this time it's on me, and I'm kind of like shy, kind of like losing my mojo, my energy. But hey, any idea, as you say, Warrior Goromo's jump. I tell you, go taste Tamara and call it Papa name. So let's get on with the gist. Lukaku is in the news today. Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku has been linked with a return to former club Inter Milan, but the 28-year-old Belgian international wants to stay and fight for his place at Stamford Bridge. My problem with Lukaku is the fact that once the going gets tough, he runs. Those kind of people are not people that you think so. Once the going gets tough, you have to prove your mettle and go forward. Let it be said that this problem that Lukaku is facing, he brought it upon himself with that stupid interview that was not needed. That moment where he got excited and started talking rubbish. So nobody should blame it on Chelsea or blame it on Thomas Tuchel or whoever. It's just Romelu Lukaku who brought it upon himself. Manchester City are leading the race to sign Norway striker Erling Braut Haaland from Borussia Dortmund, and if he does sign, it would be following his father's footsteps because his father also played for Manchester City this summer, while Barcelona, Bayern, Paris St-Germain, and Real Madrid have also made offers to the 21-year-old Real. That's Real Madrid. Want Haaland to stay at Dortmund for one more season before they sign him. Remember what I told you guys, that it is not possible. I repeat, it is not possible for Real Madrid to sign Haaland and Mbappe in one window. And, somebody sent me a message that Mbappe is going to be coming for free. The thing about football you need to understand is the dynamics of football transfer. Signing a player for free does not mean you don't spend money. There is also the sign-on fee you will not pay him because it's free. And sometimes players like Mbappe is 23. Players like Mbappe who have this much star power, brand power, would demand for a king's ransom for you to sign them on. So let's say plus or minus, Real Madrid would need to cough out between 50 to 100 million euros or pounds to sign him on. And once they do that, they will now have to pay him a salary that Paris Saint-Germain has already made it worse by offering him £1 million a week. Okay, €1 million a week, sorry. So if Real Madrid are going to come in and say, okay, look, listen, we can't pay you that, just like Barcelona told Aubameyang that, listen, we want you. We don't want you. We need you, but we can't pay you £350,000 a week. You have to agree to come down on that money for us to be able to sign you on, or you continue your nightmare under Mikel Arteta, who you once played against as a Dortmund player, and he was playing for Arsenal. That was the last time Arsenal played in Champions League, remember? So he looked at it, it's like, okay, our bread is better than full chinchi, and let's go with that. And he cut his salary. So Mbappe might not go to Real Madrid and earn €1 million a week, because I don't think Real Madrid, with the new stadium that they're building, have that kind of money to pay right now. But let's say it will not land in between £750,000 a week, or worst case scenario, £500,000 a week. So you look at that and you say to yourself, if Real Madrid covered, say, sign off, let's be modest now, 50 million sign off fee for him, and then another £500,000 a week, which is 2 million naira, 2 million. Please, what's wrong with you? 2 million euros is naira currency. 2 million euros every month. They are not going to be able to sign Erling Haaland, who already have a cast in stone, non-negotiable deal in place. 75 million transfer fee at the summer from Borussia Dortmund. A 20 million bonus to his agent Mino Raiola, another 20 million bonus to his father Haaland as what's it called? Sperm investment fee. That's what I call it. It's not out there anywhere, but that's what I call it. And I think I've been in football long enough to have the authority to give something in it. It's the sperm investment fee. Good that the mother is not demanding for another 20 million for womb maintenance fee. But whatever it is, let it be. I just think that it's a good deal that this is on and it's going on like this. So let's see how it goes. I don't think that if Real Madrid buys Mbappe, they'll be able to buy Haaland. But then sometimes sponsors might decide, you know what, we really want to turn the screw on the Galacticos. Let's do the Galacticos again. Let's try to revisit the Galacticos. Let's put Haaland and Mbappe together. Another factor that I think that would affect this deal is Mino Raiola would say to Haaland, if you go to Real Madrid where there's an Mbappe, Mbappe would always overshadow you, because let's be very honest here, Mbappe's got a bigger brand personality than you've got, so you will live in his shadow. But if you go to Barcelona, we will not create the kind of rivalry that existed between Messi and Ronaldo, even though these two guys are not on that level. Let's not deceive ourselves here. Mbappe and Mbappe and Erling Haaland are not on the level, on the corridors of the castle that Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi built. So they are not there. I dare anybody to even convince me that Mbappe and Haaland are on the level that Thierry Henry used to be back in the day. So they are not there yet. So we can't even put them on that pedestal. But either ways, that's what his agent, a wise agent, will tell him that if you go to play in the same club with Mbappe, you're going to be on his channel, because right now he's the global rising star. He's the guy. He's the guy that everybody knows. He's won the World Cup. He's won the Euros. He's played in the finals of the Champions League. He's been there before you. I'm sorry. And then he's 2 years older than you. So there's a whole lot going for him that you don't have. So you don't need to put yourself in a position where you struggle. And I think his agent would give him that advice. Mino Raiola is one of the best in the game. There is nobody on his level when it comes to trying to pull up a deal. That's the reason why it will not go. For those of you asking me why I think that Mbappe and Haaland will not play in the same club, that's my reason. Things might change. Nothing is cast in stone. Things might change. Things might go differently. Things might not work the way you expect them to work. But that's like the perfect theory I can give for now. But these are theories on paper. The reality will tell itself at the end of the day. Let's push the conversation forward. Borussia Dortmund Sporting Director Hans-Joachim Watzke expect Haaland future at the German club to be decided in the next 6 weeks. So we've got 6 weeks to run the mill. That's 1 month and 2 weeks to make it happen. We shall see how it goes on that front. Well, France striker Kylian Mbappe's contract at Paris Saint-Germain, French striker Kylian Mbappe's contract at Paris Saint-Germain runs out in the summer, and the 23-year-old has turned down another contract offer from Paris Saint-Germain. That's a contract that have €1 million weekly on the contract. So if he's turned that down, I don't think that Paris Saint-Germain wants to squeeze the orange and bring more juice. There's no juice coming. This is the end of the line. Leonardo have done his best. Everybody's done their best, but I still wonder, how did they make it so easy for a young man as talented as Mbappe to get to 23? His contract is running out, and they didn't, sell him to make money from him. That's like, it's going to be one of the craziest free transfer ever made in football history. But let's push the conversation and keep going. Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur are interested in 28-year-old Argentine forward Paulo Dybala, who is open to leaving Juventus when his contract with the Serie A side runs out in the summer. Football has changed. We're having a lot more free transfers than we used to have back in the day. What are people negotiating contracts these days? How do they let players' contract run out? Simon Sports say, good morning, boss. Good morning to you on Instagram. Yes, Newcastle will rival Arsenal for the signature of Leo's 22-year-old Canadian striker Jonathan David. Please, Arsenal, leave that player for Newcastle. Arsenal is not interested in that kind of a player. Talk about Arsenal. That win last night, that's the moment. That's the very moment that Arsenal cemented their place in the top four. Next season, Arsenal is going to Europe. If you're an Arsenal fan, just go celebrating, rejoicing, because Arsenal has made it to Europe once again after a very long hiatus, after a long break out of the UEFA Champions League. And you're wondering, but there are a couple of games to go. Yes, I know. But if Arsenal takes 6 points out of Wolves, who I consider one of the most informed teams currently in the Premier League, that's enough for them to go. If anything happens here on, it's going to be hard for me to blame anybody but the coach. But I think that another thing that's working in favor of Arsenal, take for instance, Arsenal is supposed to play Liverpool this weekend, but they're not going to play Liverpool because Liverpool is playing in the finals of the cup competition, the Carabao Cup competition, and means that it will take another 9 days of Arsenal resting, reviewing themselves, recovering from any kind of knock or minor injuries that they might have, like the cramp that Tierney suffered at the very tail end of the game and all of that, and then they'll prepare themselves for the next game. So I think that Arsenal are in good stead, and everything just seems to be working well for Arteta. Arteta have a very narrow, very, very tiny squad, but somehow it seems like everybody believes that they are pushing for something. And for those of you who always send me message in my DM and say, Aubameyang this, Aubameyang that, let me remind you that all of the years that Aubameyang spent at Arsenal is only the FA Cup he won for them. As Aubameyang did not even lead Arsenal to play in the UEFA Champions League. So you either get to deal with it or carry your ship and go support Barcelona. That's the way it works. If you love the player more than the club, then follow the player wherever he goes. That's the way it is. But then let's move further down and tell you what's happening with other clubs. Yes, the Gunners have also made a fresh approach for Real Sociedad Sweden forward Alexander Isak, who is 22. I think that would be a good buy for Arsenal. But then because Arsenal wants to sign that player, almost every other person wants to sign him as well. But I think it will make sense for him if he comes to Arsenal, because Arsenal will definitely be playing the Champions League next season. If Kessler taking Arsenal might not even end in fourth, but third as the case may be. But let's see how it goes. And then a lot of people are like, what is Idafi saying? Is he high on something? Well, I've been saying this since God knows when, and I'm always high on something in your opinion. By the end of the day, it happens, and then you're surprised. Everton will rival Newcastle this summer for the signature of Villarreal 25-year-old Netherlands forward Arno Danjuma. Okay, a couple of days ago he scored a hat-trick, but he's a bit selfish. Well, strikers needs to be selfish to be successful. Manchester United are interested in signing German centre-back Antonio Rudiger on a free transfer when his contract with Chelsea runs out in the summer if the player wants to stay in England. But if he doesn't want to stay in England, there are a lot of options. There's Bayern Munich, there is Barcelona, and there's also Paris St-Germain ready to sign a 28-year-old. So let's see how that goes. Manchester United are keen to sign defender as well, Manuel Akanji from Borussia Dortmund, and are said to have already tabled in an offer for the 26-year-old Switzerland international. It is left for the player and the club and his agent to agree that they want to go to Manchester United. Let's see how that pans out at the end of the day. Chelsea have quickly ruled out an attempt to sign Bayern Munich German winger Gnabry 26, and will instead go all out to sign Barcelona and French forward Ousmane Dembele 24. Yeah, it seems to be like as soon as his contract is ending out, the injuries, all of the issues of blood that he's had are disappearing, like he's touched the hem of Jesus' garment and is now stable and ready. Well, Barcelona will feel undone by if this player goes to another club and he plays an entire season without falling out injured. It will be very, very strange and sad. But then it is football. Football comes with a whole lot of baggages and all that. But don't forget, you can send your messages on WhatsApp 07025000069, and you can also call me on that same number 07025000069. And on the Sports Buffet, you can also watch us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on our YouTube channel, Elegoted TV Sports. But don't forget, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, please do us a favor by subscribing to the channel. That's the way you help us grow. And thanks to everyone who subscribed to the channel already. Your comments, your sharing, your liking our posts is really important to us, and we want you to also share whatever experiences you've had with us with your friends. And don't forget, invite them to come like, subscribe, and support the channel as we go. And then let's also remind you that I still have that Taiwo Awoni's jersey. It's locked up somewhere in the studio. The question I ask is still standing. If you don't get it by this week, next week I'll change the question again. What's the name of the youth club he played for that was trekking 2 hours to and from his house? And what's the name of the coach? That's a very simple one. The answer is already on our YouTube channel. It's not like the answer is somewhere hidden and I didn't get it for you. Let's take this call and hear from the callers out there. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hey, Sean, you're super regular now, calling all the time. That's nice.
And you talk about
all right, go ahead. Yes, I can. I can hear you clearly. They will miss top 4 this season. They will not make the top 4. I don't think you're clear. Are you saying they will make top 4 or they will not? Oh, they will make top 4. Oh, definitely Barcelona will make top 4. That for sure. Arsenal will make top 4. Okay, thank you very much for that. Shehu from Opik Plaza, somewhere down the road in Nigeria. Okay, if you're not in Nigeria, you're asking where's Opik. Chooks _EA. He said, I greet you, big bro. Let me let me gradually go back to my Android app always listening, but I hardly contribute. I get small time today. Please check your WhatsApp. Love you, bro. I think you sent it to a different WhatsApp. I don't use that WhatsApp anymore. So if you're sending a message on WhatsApp, send it to 070. Yeah, that's the one for the show. 07025000069. That's the only place I can take a WhatsApp, because the phone with which that WhatsApp is supposed to be on is what we're using for Instagram. So don't go sending it to my personal WhatsApp number. That's my private number. That's not the radio station number. The radio station have its own business. Let it do its business. Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning. No speaking, please. Ibrahim from Ikorodu, my guy that year. Morning, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine, sir.
All right, let's hear from you.
Fine. Good. I'm yesterday. But I also can to focus after against Chelsea and Liverpool. I feel like really good and I saw them.
Who is that?
And for Barcelona, I'm very happy for this.
All right, thank you very much. No problem, Ibrahim. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, he's talking about Arsenal having two crucial games against Liverpool and Chelsea. I think that the Chelsea game I ended in the draw. The Liverpool game, I don't think Arsenal can beat Liverpool. But by adventure, if they lose those two games, the hope of them getting, first off, they've done in 2 weeks, they've done the job. You see, when you're chasing something, one of the things you must do is eliminate your closest rivals. They've done the job with Wolves. By yesterday's victory, they've eliminated Wolves from the top four. Wolves' ambition of being in the top four have been put to bed. That is rested. Now they need to deal with Manchester United and Spurs. Spurs are going to undo themselves. So it's not an Arsenal problem. Arsenal does not need to do anything with Spurs. I think that Spurs are going to undo themselves. Spurs invested so much in playing against Man City, but they got burnt by Burnley. And there are other games where they will drop point pretty soon, because when you have a coach that is already nagging, the focus is hard. He's already telling you that the tools that he's got are not good enough to do the job. There is nothing anybody can do about that one. But then talking about Manchester United are also going to be undoing themselves with a lot of draws that they will be doing. Don't forget that every drawn game is 2-point loss. And Arsenal seem to have maybe two major games where they will struggle, and that's the game against Chelsea and the game against Liverpool. Other than that, I think Arsenal is good. But the fact that Arsenal have a very long recovery time, a time to rest and all that, means that their work is made easy for them already. On YouTube, Kelly will say, Bros, good day. Nice to have you again. Thank you very much. And we have, I don't know what message is that. Why is this thing hiding now? Okay, we have Dan Molle Ibrahim Abiodun. You say, good morning, boss. Please, your call and WhatsApp number. Okay, 07025000069. That's the number to call, and that's the same number to send a WhatsApp message to. Daddy Bayano JP, say, good morning, Edafi. My Gunners make me happy yesterday. Abiodun said the question again, boss. Abiodun, boss, is the app working again? The app is working if you've already downloaded it, but if you want to download it now, it's not started working. They said it's 14 working days now, so we should wait for 14 working days, and then they will get it back on the new server. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, and it will be back up. So the question for that jersey is, name the club that Taiwo Awoniyi's first youth club that he played for. And the clue in that question is that he used to trek 2 hours from his house to the training, and another 2 hours from training to his house. And then the name of the coach of that team. That's a very, very simple one. I mean, that's a very simple one that anybody can answer. So you just need to get it. The funny thing is, if you check on the videos on our YouTube channel, you will see the interview with Taiwo Awoniyi, and that sets you apart on edge. You would obviously get his 2 interview, part 1 and part 2. Obviously, you know that the part 1 would give you that story. So it's up to you. Shawu from Opik, he said, I hope Lukaku will stay and fight for his shirt because I believe in him. Shawu from Opik. I don't believe in him anyway. Daniel Ibrahim Abiodun said, boss, okay, I've read that one before. Let me check up with my guys on Facebook and see what they're saying over there. Auntie Kenambora, I say, blessed morning to you too, ma'am. Thank you very much for watching on the live stream. Yes, let's go to other, continue with the transfer gist that we're talking about. Right, the agents Okay, no, we're not there. Chelsea have okay. Watford striker Ashley Fletcher, 26, is close to joining Major League Soccer side New York Red Bulls on loan. The agent of Argentine striker Lautaro Martinez, who has been linked with Manchester United and Barcelona, says the 24-year-old is happy at Inter Milan. In other words, Manchester United, please get out of here. We're not interested in your club. Your club is Fetemuyes Legbere. We don't play for Legbere Football Club. That's not me saying it, that's what they say there. Arsenal have put talks over 30-year-old French striker Alexander Lacazette future on hold until the end of the season. Well, yesterday he gave them a reason to believe, but if your player is going to take forever to score just one goal, you better let him go. If you ask me, I'll say let him go. This rebuilding process that Arteta is doing is one of the things that are making me love Arteta. Let these guys go and bring in the right guys. Eventually, you might struggle, but I mean, you qualify for Champions League and then you push on. But if you sign him on a new contract, it should be just 1 year rollover because Lacazette does not do well when you have safety on his contract. Newcastle United failed to move for Atlanta striker Duvan Zapata in January, but remain interested in signing 30-year-old Colombian. Barcelona are considering making a move for midfielder Sonny Guez in the summer when the 27-year-old Spanish international is expected to return to Atletico Madrid from his loan spell with Chelsea, and he's really not had a good time in the Premier League with Chelsea. Real Madrid have total faith in 30-year-old Spain right back Dani Carvajal and do not plan to sign a new player in his position during the summer. Paris St-Germain 30-year-old Brazilian forward Neymar has revealed he turned down the chance to sign for Real Madrid as a teenager. Yeah, we already know. You don't need to tell us. We saw it in The Perfect Chaos, your 3-episode Netflix special that was executive produced by the great LeBron James. So we already know that. Don't need to tell us. We know, unless, okay, you're telling those people who don't watch Netflix. Okay. Henry Johnson had this to say on WhatsApp. He said, good morning, bros. Good morning to you. At the beginning of the season, I doubted Odegaard because of the pace of the EPA, but he has somehow adjusted himself very well. I think he covered more ground last night than any other player on the pitch. That was what Ozil couldn't do. Do you think he can turn out as one of the best midfielders in the EPL? No. One of the best midfielders in the EPL? No, but he's done well. So when we're talking about best midfielders, you should remember Fabregas played in this Premier League. Ozil had his time in the Premier League as well. Let's not judge Ozil by the end of his career and forget the time where he had some great and incredible play that we can't forget in a hurry. Kevin De Bruyne played here, Patrick Vieira played here, Emmanuel Petit played here, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, Ballack. You know, a lot of great midfielders played in this Premier League, and I don't think Odegaard is there among those guys. Yes, Odegaard had a good game yesterday, but Odegaard have not ever held the game by the scruff of the neck where you say this game or consistently, maybe in 5 or 10 games consistently, that Odegaard is the one that is orchestrating this game. Fabregas did not only hold one game, he held an entire season by the scruff of the neck. His passing, his movement, his runs, his getting other players into play, making people like Robin Van Persie, who's got injured, scoring 30 goals a season. Odegaard is not there yet. If Odegaard wants to be among the greats, he needs to do more. First off, you're not going to judge a midfielder just by his running and covering every blade of grass, which is a good one anyway. But let's not forget that in the Wolves game too, apart from, you know, horrible and terrible shooting, Thomas Partey turned up the party. He's getting ready for Nigeria. He turned up the party. He was fantastic. He was everywhere in the second half, especially because in the first half it was all Wolves. Wolves had that guy called Prudence or whatever his name was, and that Prudence was giving jurisprudence to the Arsenal players, teaching them a lesson in running into space, teaching them a lesson in fighting for 50-50 ball, winning the edge, getting over the cliff edge and surviving, playing crash. That guy was giving Arsenal players the lessons they've never thought possible in their life. And if you call Odegaard as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, that would be injustice to a lot of great midfielders that have played in the Premier League. So I wouldn't put him in that bracket yet. He's one good midfielder. he's lived up to the 30 million invested in him, because what you want from a player is, one, for them to adapt, secondly, for them to give everything for the badge, and then the quality of players you're playing with also determine what you can do. So I want to look at him and say, yeah, he's done well, but you can't even rate him above Ruben Neves right now. You can't rate him above some very, very like regular average midfielders in the Premier League. And one of the things that will count against him is Odegaard is only good on his day. You know what makes a player great is even on the day they are not, they're off color, they are still good. So as a midfielder, you can't even pick him ahead of a right fullback like a left fullback like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yesterday's win was not just an Odegaard thing; it was everybody coming to the party. Tierney played to the very best of his ability. Yes, there were some players that were off color. Even though Lacazette scored the winning goal, Lacazette were off color. And the most annoying part was when he stood up to play that free kick. I mean, you can't score from empty open net. You want to play free kick. That was annoying. There was also Bukayo Saka that was off color in that game. I must say that the player that I don't like at all in the Arsenal team, Nicolas Yaya Sanogo Pepe, showed up and removed the Yaya Sanogo from his name with his calm composure in the 18-yard box and the ability, to put that ball inside the net. That's like almost all sins forgiven, but I'm not Jesus Christ, so my blood is not enough to forgive all his sins. There are still some things about his game that I still question. I don't think you pay 72 million pounds for a player to just score one goal so far in this season Premier League. I don't think that is what it is, and I don't think you pay that much money for him to only score goals in cup competition. And to think that Arsenal is out of almost every cup competition this season. Mobolaji Olamirire says, do you also support that Chelsea should be banned or taken away from the owner because of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia? I think that's a lazy man's fight. That's a lazy man's fight. The British people are just being share stupid. Okay, I don't think that Russia benefits from Roman Abramovich owning Chelsea. As a matter of fact, Roman Abramovich is spending more money, and the British, the Royal Crown benefits more from taxes and all that. How many people will come and buy this Chelsea right now and be able to fund the salaries of the players and transfer that they're paying? Roman Abramovich has succeeded as a club owner. If they want to take it, they've been looking for opportunity to strip Chelsea of Roman Abramovich. These English people kind of like, look for every opportunity to place it. The same British people who are funding, who are the ones that are building, taking contract to build stadium in Qatar. The same British people who allowed David Beckham to go collect 150 million to be the face of the Qatar World Cup will tell you that they are using hard labor, they are using slave labor to build stadium in Qatar. But it's their companies that are building it. Why is their company not turning down the contract to fabricate, to build, to design the things that are designing? The same British people will tell you this and that is happening in Saudi Arabia, but they're the ones that are selling weapons and ammunition to Saudi Arabia people. Can British government beat their chest and say they've never sold ammunition to Russia? They can't. So what are we here saying? It's just, I don't support that. So that's like very, very foolish stuff. If you want to sanction Russia, sanction Russia. I'm not supporting what Russia is doing in Ukraine, but listen, we've seen this before. Invading people, the head nigger in charge of invading people is the crown, the British government itself. Did they not invade the whole of Africa, took our parents, our forefathers, our forebearers into slavery, rape our mothers and our sisters, our aunties and our grandmothers in time past, and ravaged our entire continent and plunged us into the poverty that we're in? So why are they not forming holier than that? They should go and sleep. If they want to take their club, they should take their club. Roman Abramovich should go and invest his money in Russia and see what he can do, or probably go to Israel. After all, he's Russian, he's also Israeli. He's been a governor for 8 years in Russia, so he can take his money back and do whatever he wants to do. But enough of all these British blackmail. I don't think this is just paper tigers. They're just coming at the public and making all this noise that they want to make because British people like to make noise. Okay, they like to make noise. I always say that British people or Yoruba people, one of them, they learn from each other. They like noise. This is not derogatory to my Yoruba brothers and sisters, but I'm just saying that this is something that is very, very easy for them to do. And then Mobolaji went further to say that I think there's a new spirit in Arsenal team, and I think it's going to help the team get the top 4 finish. The thing is, that is exactly what Arteta was trying to build. But most of you guys were not patient when he decided to let Aubameyang go. For as long as Aubameyang, the captain of the team, is being like Adesika, the rest of the team will follow. That's everything rises and falls on leadership. If you get a bad leader, everything follows. And that's exactly what is happening with Barcelona as well. And I think Arteta has gotten it right, but let him continue. It's just starting. if you really want to be an Arsenal legend as a coach, I think he needs to build his own team. There are still some players here that are not his players. He still needs to watch them and keep them out. People like Granit Xhaka, a few other players in this squad, like Lacazette should go. And then when he's done doing all of that, he can set himself up and say, okay, I have stabilized the team, I've built my team. And when people are complaining, I remind them that when Pep Guardiola came to Barcelona, he wiped away some of the players and brought his own. Look at that. Xavi has come to Barcelona again. He's already cleaning house, setting out some players, bringing his own group of players. When the same Pep Guardiola went to Manchester City, he let Joe Hart go, let some of the players go, and eventually cleaned out till even Sergio Aguero left. Now everybody in the team are his players. The same thing happened with when Arsene Wenger came to Arsenal. He let Andres Lempa go. All the players, he began to sweep them out gradually. He let Ian Wright, who's the record goal scorer of the club, go and brought in Nicolas Anelka. Every coach does that. So it's not something new. Some people do it over a long period of time. Some people do it over a short period of time, depending on the budget that they've got. So Alex Ferguson did the same thing. Jose Mourinho, specialists are doing that. If you really want to grow your team, you've got to put your men in charge. And that's exactly what happened. So it's not something new. It's not something different from what other great coaches, successful coaches have done in their career. Everybody does that. Because the thing is, if you don't do that, you're going to work with players that you did not bring. Sometimes the players are not humble or respectful enough to play by a rule. Louis van Gaal suffered that when he went to Barcelona. He wanted to work with Romario, Stoichkov, Figo, and the rest of them. Stoichkov was his biggest mistake. He should have fired him and let him go early, but he didn't let him go, and we saw how that ended. Okay, official Sylvester say, good morning to you, sir. Good morning to you. That's on Instagram, my mentor. My favorite. Please, what do you make of Kai Havertz? I would like to hear you analyze him someday. I think that Kai Havertz is a good player. You don't just go from being a prolific scorer in the German Bundesliga, and that league is a very tough league, and come to England and not be good. Okay, so he misses a lot of chances. No argument about that. But you see, the only way to give a striker the opportunity to get back into scoring form is to continuously play them. I understand that in England, there is no time, especially when you're coaching Chelsea. So there's no time. You can't do that. But let's not forget that Thierry Henry was a very, very, very prolific misser. He was very profligate in front of goal before he became prolific. So sometimes you need to give these players that run. People forget that as good as Andy Cole was, at the beginning of his career, he couldn't score, he couldn't find the back of the net. But playing other coaches that give them time. Now there's so much money in the game. Nobody's going to give you that time. Nobody's going to let you rest and relax and feel like you're so good. But this things happen, and it is football. So, but I think that Kai Havertz is that kind of player that you should leave. But then you look historically again at Chelsea and ask yourself, which number 9 have come to Chelsea apart from Didier Drogba and have excelled very well? So this is a club that normally bonds number 9 player. This is a club that their system of play always make it, especially in the Roman Abramovich era, that makes it almost impossible for a number 9 player to play well. You can be good anywhere you are. You come to Chelsea, you just realize that you can't play football anymore. So there's a certain level of pressure that comes upon you when you play at Chelsea. It's like the pressure of being a president in Nigeria. You can be a very good man in St. Pope John Paul, Pope John Matthews, Pope John Elegbete. But once you get into that presidency, the pressure of the world comes upon your shoulder, and all of a sudden you forget what it means to be a leader, what it means to be a person of purpose, and begin to do things that the devil has whispered in your head. So it's the same thing with Kava, but I think he's a good player, and I think that this is the kind of player that might leave Chelsea and go to like the Spanish La Liga and begin to bang in goals again and become a terror. For me, if I was Barcelona, I've been looking around to buy a player like Kai Havertz, because it does remind me of David Villa in a certain kind of way, not completely, but in a certain kind of way. And I think that if that club sets up the way they are set up, Aubameyang obviously is not going to be there for long. It's a stopgap measure waiting for Haaland to come in. But imagine Haaland and Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz will do all the running, creating all the space, and then Haaland will come in, bulldoze his way, and score loads and loads of goals. Just the same way Karim Benzema did for Cristiano Ronaldo. It will make a lot of sense. So in my own take, I don't think that Kai Havertz is a bad player. I think he's a good player. He's just playing for a team that does not really support the growth of a striker. And especially these days that every coach thinks that they should play low strikers. They don't even care. Because you're a striker, just go there and deliver. Sometimes it's not good. Some strikers will do well if they have a counterfoil, a pair for them to go. My brother, Footballers Connect NG. Whoa, what's that? Footballers Connect NG said, good morning, boss. Good morning to you. You have said it all. I like how you've explained the situation of coaches letting players go out. Very apt. Okay, much quite apt. as I said it there. And the Super Eagles fanatic differs. He said the Eagles. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that. Anyway, what you're saying, please put the question properly so that I can give you the right answer. Thank you very much for joining in on the live stream on YouTube. Let me see what you guys are saying on Facebook, and then I'll come back with some stories that I've got. Okay, I don't have any of you have any story there. So in Spain, so something I saw in the in Marca that they just interested that got my attention, and I'm going to talk about it. Okay, Steph Curry had a season high assist and led Warriors to cruising win over Trailblazer. Okay, that story is still a talk. Steph Curry, I don't think that you can say enough about Steph Curry. Okay, it's just that guy who does things. Let's say LeBron James is Cristiano Ronaldo and Steph Curry is Lionel Messi. It's just does things, and it seems like it's easy, it's natural. It just gets it. Okay, so let's talk about Europa a little bit. And I like the way, when Marca write positive story about Barcelona, is exciting because we all know that Marca is a pro Real Madrid club, right? But there are some stories there that I want to take you through because I saw them early this morning when I was preparing very, very early, and I thought we should share it again together. Much of Xavi Hernandez's time in charge of Barcelona has been start results, with fans yet to see a clear blueprint of how the team can move forward, play, and succeed in the coming months. Yet, green shots started to appear in a swashbuckling 4-2 victory over Napoli on Thursday. The result on the night saw Los Clues progress through to the next round of the Europa League by an aggregate scoreline of 5-3, with attacking football on display by the Blaugrana being simply outstanding at times. Buoyed by the presence of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the attack, Barcelona had a focal point through the middle and were able to counter-attack at speed. Napoli were left stunned by Monday's draw with Cagliari. We saw them lose ground on the Serie A territories, and they never really hit any kind of form in the home match with their Spanish opponent. Jordi Alba opened the scoring in the 8th minute, with Frankie de Jong adding a quite sublime second goal. I like it when they describe Barcelona in positive, glowing. You know how it is when your enemies writing positive stories about you. Yomiti said, "Good morning, bros," on Instagram. Chelsea versus Liverpool. Who will win this one? I think I'll go Liverpool. Tuchel, 3 trophies in 4 finals. I think I'll go with Liverpool. But common sense will tell me that Chelsea is the most difficult opponent you will meet in the finals. But in terms of form, as an analyst, the first thing you look at is form. So in terms of form, Liverpool have come into form in all competition. In the league, they steadily cut out a 12-point gap to 3 points. That they are even not looking like it is possible for them to even win the league this season. Having said that, also, Chelsea, and that team you play in the finals, they are not going to be colorful, they're not going to be flamboyant, they're not going to be beautiful, but then they can damage and hurt you very much. But on the front of current form, I'm going to go with Liverpool and say Liverpool would nick this one and then energize their final run for the season. But if Chelsea goes on to win it, that's the place where Liverpool get knocked out of the title race. Even though this finals is not the Premier League, it's the Carabao Cup, but you know how this thing can drain all of the energy on the inside of you and make you feel like, what? Not again. Not again. The bad luck have come again. But my smart money is on Liverpool to win, but this is not me disrespecting or counting at Chelsea. Chelsea are the opponent you pray for another person to beat before you get to the finals. When you meet Chelsea in the finals, you're pretty much saying to yourself, the only thing that will make me win this one is God. Chelsea is the John Wick. It's the one you sent to go and kill the boogeyman. Okay, so it's Chelsea's not the team that, oh, now Chelsea, well, give us Chelsea, we'll meet Chelsea. No, Chelsea's not that kind of a team. First off, it's very difficult to score against Chelsea when they set up themselves in the way they normally set up themselves. And how do you win a game if you don't score goals? But then looking at Liverpool, the way they play, their movement, their force, their press, their ability to make you uncomfortable with the ball when you're on the ball, it does look like a game that Liverpool should win. My smart money is on Liverpool, but I know better not to disrespect Chelsea. So let's go back to the story that I was reading about there. The Dutch midfielder picked the ball up around 30 yards away from goal, and the Italian defense just let him run and run until he had the freedom to call a perfect shot into the top left corner of the net. Napoli threw Napoli, though they were back, thought they were back in the tie. I don't know who's writing for these people. They're stressing me here. When they were awarded the penalty after 20 minutes with Marc-Andre ter Stegen clumsily bringing down Victor Osimhen, who was a beast and a nightmare for the defense occasionally of Barcelona. Lorenzo Insigne scored from the subsequent court kick. However, Gerard Piqué scored a wonderfully impressive technical goal in the final minutes of the half to restore Barcelona's 2-goal advantage on the night. Aubameyang had deserved a goal for his efforts in the first half, and it came just before the hour mark, putting Los Clues into an unassailable position on the tie. With just 4 minutes to play, Matteo Politano scored a consolation goal for the host. The performance gives Xavi something to work on moving forward, especially with the performance of Bayern and the young White fans can now see positive signs appearing on the horizon. So that is the beauty of football. Just when you think, oh, Barcelona are dead and buried, they are going to be knocked out. After all, Napoli went away to get a 1-1 draw. We all saw what happened. It ended 5-3. Bros, we'll get in any predictions today. While we will look at the games, I will tell you what I think about the games. This season has been the most unpredictable season, the most difficult season to predict. The games, I don't know, the games have been very, very, back in the day, you have like every game day, you have like at least a minimum of 5 short games. Like they are next to being sure. Right now, even the big teams cannot beat their chest and say, oh, we will beat this opponent, we are this good, we are that good. No. So sometimes when you're making prediction because you're thinking, every prediction I make here, I make a prediction with people's money. You've got to be careful so you don't put people's money on the whole, okay? So that's the reason why you always want to be very, very careful with your prediction. But let's not forget that Southampton will play against Norwich today. It's going to be very, very tight because Norwich are doing everything to make sure they get as much point as possible. And some of the fine results that they've got recently would also encourage them. But then Southampton are doing even better. They've taken the scalp, drawn against Man City, taking the scalp to some big team. So you've got to be very, very careful. Yami T on Instagram says, Napoli problem is squad depth. Yes, I've said that before and I keep saying it. The squad is very, very narrow. It's a very tiny squad. And they gave the ball away too much from Barcelona pressing. They should have put them away in the first half. Seth, I could have loved Osimhen in Juventus. Well, let's see if Juventus can. I mean, Juventus did buy Higuain from Napoli. Maybe they'll go back again and try to get Osimhen and see what happens. But I think that gradually Osimhen might just, make a detour. Napoli is a shortcut to the Premier League, in my opinion. So, like the fixtures I was saying, in France, it's going to be Montpellier playing against Rennes. I don't think I have a prediction for today. Hoffenheim playing against Stuttgart over 2.5 is the best I can give. AC Milan, Udinese, I put up my money on the bank and I said that AC Milan will win. Inter Milan going away to play against Genoa. I think Inter Milan will win this one unless they want to give up the title race very, very fast. In Spain, it's Levante playing against Elche over 1.5, but I think Levante will win that one. And that's all the prediction there is for today. Okay, another say Christian, he say, my night was made last night by Pepe with that turn and the blind shooting. Okay, that's what they call it. All right. I hope he finds the consistency to do that on a regular basis. Okay, Mamalaji on Facebook, you say, what is your prediction for today's final between Chelsea and Liverpool? It's not final today. Okay. I think I've given my analysis and my comment and my prediction about that one. I don't think I want to repeat it again. I said it just a few minutes ago, and I'm sure you were listening. I just happened to read it later. But I don't think that finals is today. I thought it was supposed to be on Sunday. Unless football, they changed the fixtures without me knowing, but I think it's supposed to be the weekend. I don't think it's today. Today's Friday. Okay, they've never played the Carabao Cup finals on the Friday. I don't know if this is going to be the first time they're going to do that. Okay, let's go back to Spain. Some of the stories that I was boiling at time is really running out on me now. Okay, Thierry Henry, this is not the Manchester United I used to know. That's what Thierry Henry has got to say about Manchester United. I don't know if we have time, but let's just dive into that story a bit and see what Thierry Henry said about Manchester United. He's singing, "You're not the girl I used to know. You're a shadow of yourself. I think I lost you long ago." Okay, Ralf Rangnick, Manchester United ended and a 1-1 draw away to Atletico Madrid on Wednesday evening. Yet Thierry Henry has roundly criticized the team, suggesting that they aren't the Red Devils he used to know. Coining the words of Dariat Alade in his song, "You're Not the Girl I Used to Know," Henry was a member of the Arsenal side of the early 2000s, which had a fierce and spectacular rivalry with Manchester United at that time. Yet it is clear that the team has gone backward in recent years, and by some margin. Okay, the way they play is not United's way. Okay, it's not the United. I know. I don't know what it is. Henry explained on CBS. I don't like usually to have a go at players, but like you said, okay, you had a teacher like Louis Van Gaal, then they called Jose Mourinho a dictator because he was too much into this and that. Suddenly you have a friend, they like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he was more of a dad and nice guy. But then when it's going to be about the players, okay, when are we going to blame the players? Okay, suddenly you have a friend. Speaking alongside Henry is part of the broadcast, former Liverpool defender Jimmy Carragher wondered whether the United squad has become unmanageable. Do you think the Manchester United have seen, we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years are actually manageable, unmanageable? Carragher quiz. Okay, we're talking about the structure of the football club, the players they have. They have had 5 or 6 managers. Some of them have won Champions League. You talk about Ajax being your favorite Champions League team. Louis Van Gaal was the coach. He managed Manchester United, and then they didn't do well. What's the problem? What's the problem in manhunting? Every team, man, they look like Bin Laden. So I got in the airport. That's Wycliffe Johnson. Okay, I think I'll play a lot of Wycliffe Johnson after. So if you're listening on www.elegbetedtv.com/radio, there's going to be plenty of Wycliffe Johnson after my show runs up. Well, it's on that note. I need to pack my bags and baggages and leave. Well, the British Daily Mail, there's some headlines that are just funny, just making you laugh, but the headlines as well. I'm just going to mention a few of them and get going on the show. I've got a very major interview. Some camera crews are here to do interview on me today. All right, so Roy Kane, if you want to read the story, the conversation that Roy Kane was having, he said they were scumbags at Aston Villa. You wonder why they didn't win anything. Roy Kane is at his cutting best as he talks modern stars, Gary Neville, power trips, and fighting with Peter Schmeichel. If you want to know that story, what happened back in the day, you might have just go to the link story right now on Daily Mail. And Manchester United step up their interest in Chelsea's Anthony Rudiger with Ralf Rangnick keen to bring in for free this summer after defender rejected Blues' last contract offer. This man wants big money and they're not ready. And there was good news in football as Carabao Boys ensure handball goal is ruled out. Oh God, that's honesty at the highest level. That is what we need as a team. Mikel Arteta says Alexander Lacazette display against Wolves summed up Arsenal's character as striker fights to the very, very end to force a late winner. Manchester United make inquiries about Borussia Dortmund £26 million rated defender Manuel Akanji as he approaches the final year of his deal with Ralf Rangnick wanting a new centre back to provide competition for Harry Mugu Maguire. All right, this is the end of the show. Thank you very much. If you have listened on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube, God bless you. And if you also listen on the mobile application, ELEGBETETV Radio, thank you very much. But then if you're listening online on www.elegbetedtv.com/radio, keep listening because the show might be going on, but the radio is still running and there's a whole lot. But as I go, I leave with the last comment coming from Johnny Gaffa. I need to hear you say, I be worried boy before. Okay, so like I always say to people, like I would rather put that in front of my head than say, oh, I read engineering or I have an MBA in human psychology or this one or that one. Me, I survive the things that I survive. I get over the things that I get over because, guys, I be original worry boy. I'm a worry boy, like original worry boy. And I'm very proud of it. That's a part of me that I'm the most proud of. It's just like when I tell my children I'm a worry boy, they look at me like, Daddy, what did you say? Worry boy, what's worry? But I'm a worry boy and I love it that way. Thank you very much. Johnny Gaffa, you know you're my brother, my friend. And I didn't get to see a hybrid tech today. Roland, I'm sure you're sleeping, you're tired, plenty of work, no problem. But I leave you in the good hands of my brother, my friend. This guy deserves his own show. Pretty soon, we'll get a sponsor to give him his own show. I'm talking about Peter Ewano there. Okay, for the next 6 or 7 minutes, we will be trailing you to what he is gotten on social media in this unique and beautiful pidgin English way. Them say this is what coming up next. Idafi, Elegote, Sports, whatever you call me. But my name is Idafi Manchester, and this has been the Sports Buffet on Elegote TV Radio. You love to come with the Elegote on Sports. Have for yourself a wonderful, wonderful day.
Das ist Post-Corner for Italian Liberty Radio. My name is International to the round the matter. We live with this post. I'm from the Yama social media. My name is Peter. So this morning there, we have a Kayana for the inside the